Do you think they've got the balance about right?
Yes. I think the only thing where there was a significant sense of letdown was the service in St Paul's. I think that was a little bit toned down. The discomfort of the Church of England with being English rather came through. The talk of environment, peace and justice was perhaps a little too loud, but nothing to get too excited about. I'd have preferred a little more of this music. We're hearing there's a kind of Elgar soundtrack.
There's a lovely mix of Elgar and lots of pomp and lots of
yes, and umpa, a little bit of umpa.
There, and when we've sorted things out, we'll be talking to her and indeed to those lovely people who are playing that excellent music. You mentioned there in the context of St Paul's the talk of the environment and worldliness, as it were, rather than faith and what we know is at the pounding heart of Her Majesty's personal faith. In the sense of balance as well, here's another one. Do you think that they've got it right in the balance between Her Majesty, whose Platinum Jubilee it is, the Prince of Wales, calling her mummy last night, who is the heir apparent, and William, who spoke twice about the planet and the green agenda, his heir and her heir presumptive? Have they got that balance right between the key players?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it is an extraordinary spectacle when you have, as it were, 3 successive monarchs, and indeed a 4th. With young George popping up and down. Actually, not so much popping up and down, looking really rather respectable most of the time. And very, very much.
I thought Zara Phillips sticking the flag in Louis's ear, maybe, but then he got her back.
Yes,
so,
but they're children. But again, it's this combination of the formality, the majesty, the fact it's a family, that they are children, they will become adults, they will get married, they will grow old.
Yes.
All of those things. And that is what monarchy is about, and why it is the ideal thing to represent a nation changing and yet somehow remaining the same.
And it is, in that sense, importantly, it is not only a jubilee for Elizabeth II, it is a jubilee for the institution.
Absolutely.
And nothing says more clearly nor more loudly, this is going to be with us for some time. Here's the Queen, here's the Prince of Wales, here's the Duke of Cambridge.
Precisely,
yeah.
Precisely. And it is, after all, the first duty of any dynast to generate an heir. And that's precisely what has been achieved, and good heavens how.
Yeah.
The monarchy has never had that, as it were, protection in depth.
That's fascinating. I hadn't got notes on that, hadn't thought about it until you said it. And in the sense, if we go back to Elizabeth I, that was a real problem.
There is no unquestioned heir.
Yeah.
And, the whole of the politics of the reign really revolves around the fact that the likely heir, first of all, Mary Queen of Scots,
yes,
is illegal under the terms of Henry VIII's will, and secondly, of course, is opposed to the religion of state, and thirdly, is dabbling in treason. So we have come rather a long way.
Right. Rather. We'll leave William and Mary and Protestantism
and all that
to one side. One quick bite with you, and we're going to talk about it again at greater length. We've got a brilliant social historian joining us from Birmingham University a bit later on. But I can't let you go before we go to Bev and the music, because you want to hear the music as well as everybody else. The Observer, we are the true party of patriotism, says Labour. I said to you earlier on, before we came over here, that I personally thought, in a sense, rather like Labour embracing NATO fully in the context of Ukraine, this is a triumph for Her Majesty the Queen and the monarchy, if it's to be believed.
Yes, but remember, there have always been 2 Labour parties. There is a Labour Party which is, remember, founds NATO. Ernest Bevin, as Foreign Secretary to Clement Attlee, is the man more than anybody else who leads Britain into NATO, shapes the institution, is passionately anti-communist.
And Gateskill, don't send me naked into the conference chamber of nuclear weapons.
Wholly patriotic. We all forget. But on the other hand, there was another Labour Party. That was the Labour Party of the earlier 1930s, which is George Lansbury, who, apart from the fact he's a very nice, decent man, is a direct anticipation of Jeremy Corbyn.
Yes.
It's a pacifist party. It's an internationalist party. It disapproves of the whole apparatus of monarchy, of basically British society.
It's intriguing final point then, because when I mentioned this to you when we were sitting over there, as I say, before we came here, you said, and I was taken aback, you said, but there's nothing new in this assertion.
That's right. But the Labour Party has just swung between these two positions. The Tory party is naturally the national party. It's defined as the national party by Disraeli. The problem for the Tories is which nation?
Yes.
England or Britain?
Absolutely.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.